Is Sully for Antisocial News, and this is the body count report for yesterday, January the 10th, which was a Wednesday, 2018. My flu medicine kicked in, so I seem a little more human at the moment. I tried to record this earlier. I was very busy yesterday working and apparently getting the flu. So now that I have it, I want to show you what I'm wearing here today. I'm wearing my original Antisocial News shirt. It's the original. I'm also wearing my bandana that I wore when I first did the body count report. A new bandana and a beautiful white bandana. And the reason why I'm wearing that is because of my send out to supporters. If you are a Patreon supporter, if you support on Patreon, if you do that, $5 support on Patreon gets you this wonderful shirt, and then as a bonus, it is my habit to send you a nice bandana. And I sent out a few of these shirts, and I've been having a lot of fun with this. And not just Patreon supporters, but if you are a collaborator or a contributor, like Johnson and Joshua are contributors, so I just fired off some packages to the Philippines and Nigeria, and also to the UK, where one of our collaborators lives, Big Man Tyrone. So the first thing he did was slap on the shirt, slap on the bandana. He wore it this style though. So and sent me a selfie. And gave me, the right to post that on my social. So I want you to go to the patreon.com/antisocialnews, link obviously in the description, and see the picture of Big Man Tyrone rocking the Antisocial News shirt. It's beautiful. He's just such a great guy and so easy to work with, a great person to collaborate with, and I'm so glad he's in a roundabout sort of way a part of what I'm doing here, trying to enlighten people to real life or death news stories from around the world, as well as sort of lampoon mainstream media for not talking about some of these stories that are actually important. So that's why I'm still trying to get that official title of Big Man Tyrone's Kekistani Global Information Czar, but as soon as I get it, you guys are going to be the first to know, obviously. It's a very important title. Alright. Anyway, also shout out to Finargle McGargle for rocking the bandana that I sent him. I sent him a very special one, and first thing he did was compliment the shirt and slap that bandana right on. It had unicorns and stars and emojis on it. And like no hesitation, he was just like, awesome, thank you. Right in the middle of his stream, he did it. So link to Finargle McGargle's Twitch page is going to be in the description below. On to the news. Just want to give that shout out, the plug for the Patreon. I have to do that because I want to get back to making good quality videos for you guys, and I realize these face videos are only so entertaining. No matter how many bandanas I'm wearing 3 right now, and that's not the same as a nice OBS Studio or edited video, and I know that, and I want to get back to those, but I just seriously do not have the time because I have to be out working. Now that I'm down with the sickness, down with the sickness today. That's how you can get one, at least where I'm indoors, so the audio may be a little nicer. Okay, I gotta run through these headlines as quickly as I can because I have to get a few other videos up today, and I'm gonna try to schedule them to all ping at the same exact time so that I don't get a shart load of notifications to my subscribers. We have the United States issues a new recommendation not to travel to Guatemala. So Prince Libre reporting on this. Estados Unidos recomienda viajar Guatemala travel advisory. So check that link out. Find out why the U.S. State Department looks at traveling to Guatemala as a potential life or death mistake. Psychopathic killer who fled to California now at OCCC to face charges. HawaiiNews.com reporting from Oahu. Very scary video. So check that out. And psycho killers are still a thing. Alright, the Pope is worried about Venezuela, whose inflation will reach 10,000%, according to the Parliament. PrensaLibre.com Internacional. Papa está preocupado por Venezuela, cuya inflación alcanzará el 10,000% según el Parlamento. Okay, I think this is an understatement. The understatement of this fresh year to say that the issue is just with the Parliament. It's not just with the Parliament. It is with people starving, with people doing mob violence in the streets to protect their neighborhoods from roving bands of thieves. The situation in Venezuela is bad. So just the economic or government budget and all that is undercutting the real problem. So check that story out, and I'll definitely be keeping up on what's going on in Venezuela. Ooh, and now to Marawi. 3 more soldiers added to the list of dead from Marawi siege. So says the military. ManilaTimes.com reporting. 3 soldiers added. That's so sad. They're still cleaning out different areas from the Marawi siege. As well, there are people who have been injured in combat, and the recovery is not going as well as it should be for some of them. So these are heroes. These are men who freed a city from the Islamic State in Asia. So if you didn't follow that story, definitely check it out. I put a link, obviously, to this Manila Times story, and I'll try to put a link to some of the other recaps of the Marawi conflict. This happened in 2017, and it was an absolute epic battle. All right. Photos. Nigeria Army averts suicide attack by 3 girls in Borno State. AfricaNews.com reporting. Really scary story. Really sad story. Check it out. It's about Boko Haram using girls that they've kidnapped or brainwashed into being suicide bombers. And it's actually about the salvation of a few of those girls. So it is a good story, but it's still so sad. Prepare to be uplifted and soul crushed at the same time. Myanmar military confirms mass Rohingya grave found. Now, this is federal oversight in Myanmar confronting some of the bad things that the Myanmar military did while they were there, and local Buddhist militias and Myanmar military working together did do crimes, war crimes against the Rohingya people. So they are coming clean with that. So a mass grave of 10 people have been found. Like I always say, the eyes of the world are on Myanmar and how they're handling the situation and what they're doing. So it is good that Myanmar is not saying Myanmar did nothing wrong. They are owning up to some of their mistakes. I never had any doubt that Myanmar conducted war crimes, or people from Myanmar, or people on behalf of Myanmar conducted war crimes on Rohingya people. But the way that it was being reported, which was pure hearsay, and the hearsay was I don't know. It just seems so unreputable, and troublesome that journalism would be so. Well, this one person told us this thing, therefore it is now news. And I don't necessarily think that's how news is. I feel like there needs to be some vetting, some proof. Anyway, moving on. I'm glad to see that justice is being found for the Rohingya people. Now there are still, as I covered, there are still militants on the Rohingya side who are, even though Myanmar is resettling displaced Rohingya and Myanmar is owning up to their actions, there are still militants who are vowing to violently attack Myanmar, which is ridiculous. They have won, and yet they are still saying, no, we're terrorists, and we want our terrorist autonomy so that we can run a little Shia village on the edge of a little Shia country inside Myanmar. And it's just ridiculous because it's like you've won, the eyes of the world are on you. Be gracious, be humble. You won your conflict. Don't say, no, we didn't win, we're going to... Basically, Myanmar's still around, we need to wipe them out, which is ridiculous. It's like you try to stick up for them, and then they won't denounce ARSA, and ARSA continues. Anyway, this story's about Myanmar. Check it out. Tribalism still plagues Nigerian politics. This is a big story. This is a bad story. Igbo group says Buhari has nothing to offer Nigerians. Igbo is a predominantly Christian tribe in Nigeria. Buhari is Muslim from the Fulani Hausa tribes, and or Hausa Fulani, sorry. And because of that, the Igbo tribe, which is about a quarter of the country, claims that Buhari does not speak for them, and Buhari focuses on Muslim issues and ignores Muslim crimes such as the massacres by the Fulani herdsmen, and so it is a touchy situation, and they do make some good points about like how when some people in non-Hausa Fulani lands wanted independence and started talking of independence, that would be the Biafra, IPOB, Indigenous Peoples of Biafra. When they started wanting independence, Buhari sent the military. And of course it was like, oh, we're just doing a training exercise that just happens to cut through your area, basically baiting them into attack, and infringing on their land. And I think 3 people died in that conflict. So you had rhetoric being met with military, and people dying. And then in this situation with the Fulani herdsmen, you have the Fulani herdsmen massacring dozens, if not hundreds, of people. The body count is over 100 people. And they send the police. After complaints from people all over Nigeria and even around the world, they finally send some people there from the federal government of Nigeria, and it's just federal police. They send some police out there to Benue, and it did lead to arrests. It led to 6 arrests, but still, rhetoric from non-Muslims gets the military. Murder from Muslims eventually gets some police sent. So that's one of the reasons why they're saying Buhari is loyal to House of Fulani and he's not loyal to Nigeria. Check it out. Try to get in that headspace. That's one of the reasons why I like what I do here, is because it really helps me try to empathize with a situation that I'm definitely not familiar with. We have Vanguard Nigeria reporting on that story. Violent protests erupt over rape and murder of 8-year-old girl in Pakistan. Jiminy Christmas. Well, that headline says it all. Moving on, link in the description, Times of India reporting. And the last story is very troubling. I think the comment section was the most shocking on this one. It's ynetnews.com, man killed in West Bank drive-by shooting. Yeah, check that out. Check the there's a Jewish man shot by terrorists in West Bank, and there's just such interesting comments on it. There was even defense for the shooting by a Muslim woman saying, by any means necessary, get the occupiers out of the land. And this was an innocent man, father of 6, I believe, who got gunned down. And I just, terrorism's never the answer. And I think it's really sad to see people defending that and treating it like it's a form of speech or protest. So check that link out. That is the body count report for yesterday, Wednesday, the 10th of January. And once again, go to patreon.com/antisocial news, and you will be able to see the beautiful picture of the wonderful Supreme President, Big Man Tyrone, rocking this shirt. Please help me continue doing the news, finding interesting stories from around the world. It's hard to read these stories. Sometimes it's hard to just read the headlines. Love you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all that you do. Likes, comments, anything you give me. The subscriptions. Thank you so much. Nothing but love and appreciation. How many bandanas should I wear in the next video, huh? All right. Bye.